Ever wondered why clock hands move to the right? It's a question that might seem trivial at first glance, but it holds a wealth of historical significance. It's a simple question with a fascinating answer rooted in history dating back to the earliest days of human civilization. This seemingly insignificant detail reveals a deeper story about our perception of time and the ingenious ways we've devised to measure it. The clockwise motion is not just a random choice. It reflects centuries of innovation and adaptation. Join me as we delve into the captivating world of clocks and uncover the reasons behind their clockwise motion. We'll explore the origins of this design choice and how it has persisted through the ages. Our journey takes us back centuries to the earliest attempts to track the passage of time. From the ancient Egyptians who used sundials to the medieval clockmakers who crafted intricate timepieces. From ancient sundials to intricate mechanical marvels, the clockwise motion has been a consistent feature. Sundials, which cast shadows that move in a clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere, set the precedent for this design. The transition from sundials to mechanical clocks brought about new challenges and innovations. The design of clocks has been influenced by the needs and values of the societies that created them. So, as we journey through the history of timekeeping, we'll gain a deeper understanding of why clock hands move to the right and what this tells us about our relationship with time. To understand the clockwise movement of clock hands, we must first turn our attention to their ancestor, the sundial, a remarkable invention that has stood the test of time. Thousands of years ago, long before the invention of mechanical clocks, civilizations relied on the sun's position to mark the hours. These early timekeepers were ingenious in their simplicity and effectiveness. Sundials, simple yet effective, used the shadow cast by a gnomon, a vertical stick or obelisk to indicate the time. The length and position of the shadow would change throughout the day, providing a reliable way to track the passage of time. In the northern hemisphere, where civilizations like the Egyptians and Babylonians flourished, the sun's movement across the sky follows a specific pattern. This predictable path was crucial for these ancient societies, as it allowed them to organize their daily activities and rituals. It rises in the east, reaches its highest point in the south, and sets in the west. This daily journey of the sun was not just a natural phenomenon, but a cornerstone of timekeeping for these early cultures. This east to south to west movement creates a shadow that moves in the opposite direction, west to north to east. Observing this shadow's movement was essential for understanding the passage of time during the day. This is the origin of the clockwise direction we see in modern clocks. The legacy of the sundial lives on, influencing the way we perceive and measure time even in our modern digital age. The sundial's simple yet profound design has left an indelible mark on the history of timekeeping. As technology advanced, the need for more accurate and consistent timekeeping led to the development of mechanical clocks. These intricate devices, first appearing in Europe around the 14th century, replaced the sun's movement with a complex system of gears, springs and weights. Crucially, the early clockmakers drew inspiration from the familiar movement of sundials. To maintain consistency and avoid confusion, they designed their mechanical clocks to mimic the shadow's clockwise progression. This decision, made centuries ago, continues to influence the way we tell time today. The dominance of right-handedness in society also played a role in solidifying the clockwise direction of clock hands. In a world designed for right-handed individuals, it felt more natural and intuitive for the hands to move in the same direction as the dominant hand's natural turning motion. Imagine yourself winding a clock. The clockwise motion, mirroring the natural movement of your right hand, feels comfortable and efficient. This seemingly small detail further cemented the clockwise direction as the standard for clock design. The clockwise movement of clock hands is also intrinsically linked to the mechanics of gear systems. In a typical clock mechanism, the power source, whether it be a falling weight or a wound spring, drives a series of gears that regulate the movement of the hands. The gear's interlocking teeth dictate that when one gear rotates in a particular direction, the connected gear rotates in the opposite direction. This interplay of gears, combined with the initial decision to mimic the sundial's shadow movement, resulted in the clockwise rotation we observe on clock faces. A global perspective, clockwise versus counterclockwise. While the clockwise direction dominates the world of timekeeping, it's worth noting that not all clocks throughout history followed this convention. Some cultures, particularly in the southern hemisphere, developed sundials that reflected the sun's movement in their part of the world. These sundials displayed a counterclockwise shadow movement. However, the widespread adoption of mechanical clocks, originating in the northern hemisphere, led to the global standardization of the clockwise direction. This highlights how technological advancements and cultural exchange can influence even the most fundamental aspects of our lives. The clockwise movement of clock hands has transcended its purely practical purpose and influenced our very perception of time. This seemingly simple motion has become a universal symbol, representing the passage of time in a way that is both intuitive and deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. We often visualize time as a linear progression, moving from left to right, mirroring the direction of clock hands. This visualization is not just a random choice, but a reflection of how we have been conditioned to perceive time through centuries of using clocks and watches. This mental association is so ingrained that we use phrases like looking forward to the future or reflecting on the past. These expressions highlight how our language and thought processes are influenced by the rightward flow of time, making it a fundamental aspect of our daily lives. This rightward flow of time is evident in various aspects of our lives, from calendars and timelines to graphs and charts. It is a consistent theme that helps us organize and make sense of the world around us, providing a framework for planning and reflection. The clockwise motion of clocks, once a simple design choice, has shaped our understanding and visualization of time itself. This design has become a powerful metaphor, influencing not just how we measure time, but how we experience it, think about it, and even how we talk about it in our everyday conversations. Counterclockwise clocks and their significance. Despite the dominance of clockwise clocks, counterclockwise clocks do exist and serve specific purposes. In some industrial settings, machinery might operate with counterclockwise rotations, requiring specialized clocks for accurate monitoring. These unique clocks highlight the adaptability of timekeeping devices and the importance of context in their design. While the clockwise direction remains the standard, counterclockwise clocks demonstrate that alternative approaches can be equally valid and necessary. As technology continues to advance, the future of timekeeping might move beyond the traditional analog clock face. Digital displays, already ubiquitous in our lives, offer alternative ways to represent time, freeing us from the constraints of physical hands and their direction. However, the legacy of the clockwise movement is likely to endure. Our deep-rooted association of clockwise with forward progress and the passage of time will likely continue to influence the design and interpretation of timekeeping devices, even in a digital age. The enduring legacy of clockwise motion. The simple act of glancing at a clock face, a seemingly mundane activity, connects us to a rich history of human ingenuity and cultural exchange. The clockwise movement of clock hands, once determined by the sun's path and the mechanics of gears, has become a universal language of time. As we navigate an increasingly digital world, the enduring legacy of the clockwise direction reminds us of the power of observation, innovation, and the enduring human quest to measure and understand the passage of time.